Welcome to the news on Enyimba TV. We're reaching you from the commercial city of Aba. First, the headlines. Abia postponed planned August 1 restrictions on tricycles and motorcycles. Sporadic gunshots rock Owerri as residents scamper to safety. Federal government makes last-minute appeal before protest. Thanks for joining us on the news at this time. My name is Esther Chima. Now the news in details. Abia State government has suspended its planned enforcement of operational restrictions on tricycle, that is keke, and motorcycles, that is okada, between the hours of 7 p.m. and 6 a.m. The restrictions initially set to commence on August 1, 2024 have been put on hold until further notice. The government, in a statement signed by the Commissioner for Information and Culture, Prince Okekano, said the decision comes in response to the current security situation and the national mood caused by the impending hunger and hardship protest, scheduled to start on the same date. The statement further advised Abia citizens and residents who intend to be part of the nationwide protest to exhibit restraint as they do so. Residents of Umuahia, the Abia State capital, ignored the nationwide protest as they went about their normal lives. There was free flow of human and vehicular movement as residents carried on their daily routines uninterrupted. The streets were as busy as ever and there was calm in the capital city. No protester was yet sighted as at the time of monitoring movement around some streets. There were normal lives around Enugu Road, Walaka Street, Niger Road, Awolowo Street, Umuahia by ShopRite axis and the adjoining streets. No security operatives were seen around as residents went about their normal businesses. Meanwhile, Aba, the commercial center of Abia State, is deserted as human and vehicular movement is scanty. Places like Ishahia, Umuode, Aba Owerri Road, Obo Hill, among others, are empty as residents fear reprisal attack. Shops, hospitals and fueling stations are under lock and keys. Security operatives are seen patrolling to maintain law and order. As at the time of filing this report, no protester have been sighted in Aba. Federal government made a last-minute appeal to avert protest over the rising cost of living. This comes a day before civil society groups plan nationwide end bad governance demonstrations against its policies. Speaking in Abuja during a ministerial press briefing, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, said President Bola Tinubu is not against the protest. He urged Nigerians to avoid the protest, calling for dialogue and listing the measures Tinubu's government had introduced to help alleviate economic pain. Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, highlights policies targeting the hardship. Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of Economy, Wale Edun, in his contribution, said the nation is in a state of recovery in the last 15 months. The Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors said members in all its branches, domiciled mainly in federal and state-owned teaching hospitals, specialist hospitals and public health institutions have been alerted to the End Bad Governance protest starting nationwide from today. The president of NAD, Dr. Dele Abdullahi, disclosed this in a telephone interview with Enyimba TV. Abdullahi said though the association was not joining the protest, its members were ready to offer medical treatment for protesters who may be injured. Meanwhile, Minister of Information and National Orientation Mohammed Idris says although the bags of rice to be sold by the federal government for 40,000 naira were available, sale centers cannot be announced for fear of being hijacked and hoarded by people who have money. The minister stated this while fielding questions from journalists following a press briefing at the Radio House in Abuja. He added that the locations of the sale centers across the country could not be announced for security reasons and to ensure that those for whom the intervention was intended would get the rice. Enyimba TV recalled that the federal government, through the minister, had said it had created centers across the country where Nigerians could purchase 50 kg bags of rice for 40,000 naira. Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Egbetokun, is directing his men across the country to deal decisively with arsonists and the troublemakers as youth stage and bad governance protests against hunger and economic hardship across the Federation starting from today, Thursday, August 1, 2024. In a statement he personally signed on the eve of the nationwide protest, the police boss said the organizers of the planned demonstrations failed to furnish the police with the details of the protest, including the names of intending participants, routes of rallies, among others. The IGP said the name given to the movement, Take It Back movement, has far-reaching undemocratic, unconstitutional and illegal connotations. He said intelligence revealed that the protests are aimed at unleashing mayhem on the polity and innocent citizens. Senate President Godswill Akpabio is mocking Nigerians who plan to take part in the nationwide protest against economic hardship, saying he and other members of the National Assembly would be eating while they, that is Nigerians, protest. He stated this at the Niger Delta Ethnic Nationalities Youth and Women Group Sensitization Conference in Port Harcourt, Rivers State. During the event, the managing director of the NDDC, Samuel Obuku, said the Niger Delta region is not interested in a change of government in Nigeria. Speaking shortly after, Senator Akpabio corroborated Obuku's comments that the people of the Niger Delta were not interested in a change of government in Nigeria. Lawyer to some of the organizers of the planned hardship protest, Egbun Olun Adegborua, is appealing to the protesters to reduce the protest to 1 day or a maximum of 3 days. In a statement, hours to the eve of the protest, Adegborua urged the protesters to be orderly and peaceful as they go out to protest in the locations already sent to the police. While saluting the courage of the protesters, he called for engagement with the government on the issues raised to address the same and urged the protest organizers to set up different teams to engage with various government agents for immediate action. The senior advocate also warned security agencies against firing bullets, arbitrary arrest of citizens, and deployment of the military. Justice Sylvanus Orji of the Federal Capital Territory High Court in Abuja has restricted protesters in the August 1 demonstrations to the MKO Abiola Stadium in the nation's capital. Justice Orji issued the order while delivering a ruling in an ex parte application brought before him by the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Wike. The FCT minister had applied for an order of interim injunction restraining the 5 leaders of the protesting groups from gathering or parading themselves along any roadway, streets, offices, and public premises within the FCT between August 1 to August 10 or any other day thereafter, pending the hearing and the determination of the motion on notice. Meanwhile, the FCT Minister Wike, in another engagement, said the presence of heavy security at the Eagle Square in Lagos is to avert destruction of property and lives. In a similar development, Ogun State High Court has ordered the sponsors of the End Bad Governance in Nigeria protest to limit their activities to 4 locations in the state. The court also restricted the time frame of the protest to between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m., granting an application moved by the state's Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice Oluwashina Ogungbade SAN. Justice Oluboyinga Oguforowa directed that all protests under the End Bad Governance in Nigeria slogan or any other slogan from August 1, 2024 to August 10, 2024 must be limited in place and time. The Attorney General explained that the 4 locations are across the 4 divisions of the state in the 3 senatorial districts, allowing protesters in these vicinities to conveniently participate in the protest under adequate protection and without infringing on the rights of any non-protesting members of the public. National Human Rights Commission (NHRC) says it will deploy its officials to monitor the planned nationwide protest to ensure adequate protection of the rights of the participants. Executive Secretary of the NHRC, Dr. Tony Ojukwu SAN, who spoke to newsmen in Abuja, equally faulted security agencies for asking organizers of the protest, scheduled to commence today, to seek and obtain permission. The commission, which maintained that the right to protest was guaranteed by the 1999 Constitution as amended, however, urged all the parties to avoid actions that could endanger public safety, damage properties, or undermine national democracy. Senate is appealing to protesters to grant the federal government more time for the ongoing reforms to yield the desired results and meet their demands. The appeal came after the Senate reconvened from its closed-door session, which lasted for less than 2 hours. President of the Senate, Senator Abia stated that the government has started to meet the demands of the protesters, including minimum wage student loans and sales of crude oil refineries. Outside the chamber, Senator and former Labour leader Adam Soshimole, who spoke to Enyimba TV, said that protesting without leadership is dangerous. In a related development, Speaker of the House of Representatives Tajuddin Abbas is appealing to organizers of the planned nationwide protest to embrace dialogue with the federal government to find solutions to the hardship being felt across the country. The Speaker, in a town hall meeting with youth groups at National Assembly Complex, also said that they would hold dialogue with the Nigerian youths twice a year to hear their plight on a continuous basis with a view to addressing them. He, however, noted that expressing grievances or calling for protest is only the first step in the dialogue chain. The representatives of the youth group had the opportunity to ventilate their views regarding their plight, calling for urgent action on the part of the government. Senate has amended the Central Bank of Nigeria CBN Act to increase the borrowing limit the bank can offer the federal government from 5% to 10%. The borrowing, popularly called Ways and Means, is a loan facility through which the CBN finances the federal government's budget shortfalls. Senate President Abia announced the increment during an emergency plenary after many of the senators supported it through voice votes. It was read for the first and second time and committed to the Committee of the Whole, where the clauses were considered before final passage. Minority caucus in the House of Representatives staged a walkout when a bill to amend the total advances by the Central Bank of Nigeria CBN to the federal government from 5% to a maximum of 10%. The members of the opposition in the Green Chamber staged a protest after lawmakers of the All Progressives Congress APC amended the CBN Act to increase the Ways and Means loans obtained by the federal government from the Apex Bank. The minority leader of the House, Kingsley Chinda, had objected to the passage of the amendment, stating that it would erode the powers of the National Assembly and give room for too much discretionary power to the CBN. He proposed that it should be reduced to 2% instead of increasing it. But the matter was put to vote and the amendment was passed. Immediately, the minority caucus staged a walkout, but later returned and protested the amendment. House of Representatives Special Joint Committee investigating factors working against the petroleum sector has directed the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited to halt what it called the mortgage of Nigeria's future crude oil unit until it concludes its assignment. Recall that the committee, chaired by the lawmaker representing Idato South and Idato North Federal Constituency in Imo State, Ikenga Ugochinyere, commenced its probe of shady deals in the sector last week. The committee's directive followed reports that NNPC is planning to borrow an additional $2 billion in crude oil-backed loans from international creditors to boost its financial inflow. The Group Chief Executive Officer of NNPC, Melekiari, according to the panel, reportedly stated that the national oil company is in discussion with international creditors to raise an oil-backed credit facility. In a statement issued by Ugo Chinyere, the lawmaker urged NNPC not to undermine the forensic investigation by the House of Representatives with another fresh loan. Lagos State Police Command says its operatives has successfully foiled a bomb attack in the state. The state police public relations officer, Benjamin Hundeyin, confirmed the incident and said the device, which was wrapped in a bag, was dropped by the roadside from an unregistered vehicle along Mobolaji Bank, Anthony Way. The PRO said an officer on patrol saw an unidentified man driving an unregistered Toyota Corolla vehicle coming down from the car and dropping the bag. Hundeyin, who explained that the substance is an IED, said the area has been cordoned and standard operating procedure was adopted. He said residue from the IED has been taken for further investigation and analysis. Tensions remain high in Imo State as heavy shootings that have claimed the life of at least 4 people in different parts of the state continued for day 3 on Wednesday. Eyewitnesses told Enyimba TV that gunshots were heard at Wedra Road, Bank Road, Douglas Road and Ikenebu Road, all within Owerri, the Imo State capital. Enyimba TV gathers that on Tuesday, 3 people were killed in 2 separate surprise attacks in Oji, Ekemele and Worubi across 3 different local government areas, Mbitoli, Ikeduru and Owerri North. An Imo State Government Waste Management Agency vehicle at Nkwoji Market. The Tuesday killings came less than 24 hours after gunmen killed 4 policemen and a lady POS operator in Irete. You're watching Enyimba TV News. After the short break, the news continues with foreign, business and sports updates. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back and thanks for staying tuned. Now the news continues. Donald Trump is suggesting that Vice President Kamala Harris decided to turn black for political gain as he attacked his Democratic White House rival during a combative and inflammatory interaction with African-American journalists in Chicago. The Republican former president's provocation marked an escalation of the 78-year-old's vitriol against Harris, whom he falsely accused of having identified as Indian, but then all of a sudden she made a turn and she became a black person. Harris, who has long identified as black and graduated from a historical black university, was always of Indian heritage, but then happened to turn black. Trump told a conference of the National Association of Black Journalists. Trump's identity assault was at the heart of a hostile interaction with black reporters, one of whom he berated for asking about his history of offensive remarks about black people. Now from the business sector, billionaire businessman Femi Otedola is supporting the 70% windfall tax proposed by the federal government on foreign exchange gains of banks. In a statement, Otedola, who is the chairman of FBN Holdings, slammed the banking sector for its $50 million estimated bill on maintaining private jets and an even higher bill on the purchase of private jets. In July, the Senate amended the Finance Act to impose a 70% windfall tax on banks' foreign exchange profits. A windfall tax is a higher tax levied by the government on sectors or businesses that have disproportionately benefited from favorable market conditions. And now sports. Clinical Japan beat Nigeria 3-1 in the final Group C women's football event at the Paris Olympics to send the African giants home. First half goals from Maika Hamano, Mina Tanaka and Hikaru Kitagawa ensured that Futoshi Ikeda's ladies finished second in the group to book a place in the quarterfinals of the tournament at the expense of Nigeria. Randy Wondron kept faith in the side that lost 1-0 to Spain in their second game, with Chiamaka Nadozie starting in goal for the Falcons, while Michelle Alose, Toshin Demehen, Chidinma Okeke and Osinachi Ohale played in defense. The defeat means the Falcons are out of the tournament after losing all their 3 group games to finish bottom of Group C with 0 points. And with our sports story, we wrap up this edition of the news on Enyimba TV at this time. But before we go, here is a recap of the top stories. Abia postpones planned August 1 restriction on tricycles and motorcycles. Sporadic gunshots rock Owerri as residents scamper to safety. Federal government makes last-minute appeal before protest. Now that's our package of the news for now. Please join us for more updates in our subsequent bulletins. Meanwhile, don't forget to subscribe to this channel on YouTube. Click on the notification bell to receive alerts when new videos are uploaded. Thanks for watching. On behalf of the production crew, my name is Esther Chima, appreciating you for watching.